Hey there, Brent Lake here. Getting ready to submit my last assignment. Wasn't supposed to be the last assignment, but we just moved into a new house here, and unfortunately, kind of just got Wi-Fi set up, and yeah, so we're just gonna knock this out. I've got my wife and my son Christopher here. I think Chris wants to jump in front here and say hi. We're gonna be going over persuasive speech, and the organization for this one here is the problem, the cause, and the solution. We talked about the audience already. The topic is social media addiction and how it pertains to Americans. The general purpose is to persuade, and the specific purpose is to persuade my audience members that social media addiction is a problem, and being good stewards of our time, as well as nurturing God-given relationships, is a way to kind of mitigate that problem, if you will. Facebook alerts. Let's talk about that. We all know the sounds that come out when somebody likes or comments on one of your posts, if you will. And too often we run to our phones and we pick them up to see who it is that last left a comment, or how many likes that picture has gotten. Oftentimes we put down something important to just go and scroll. Okay, so it's important to balance the time that you have in conjunction with whatever time you're going to spend on social media. Okay, without having that balance, you're very likely to develop, you're very unlikely to develop strong relationships with others around you. Okay, as an introvert myself, and someone that's also been addicted to social media, I can personally understand the issue that social media has and the detrimental effects that it can have on the relationships in one's life. Okay, I can also understand the difficulty with balancing time, okay, with everything that you have going on in a day, and then some time to scroll or like or whatever social media activities that you engage in there. The thesis statement here is just that social media addiction, as a common problem in America today, can have detrimental effects on society, but God calls his people to counter this problem within our own lives by utilizing good time management and building strong relationships with those around us. I'll validate this statement by discussing how social media addiction is a common problem, how the problem exists because people fail to deem it as important, and how a solution should be to base our views around godly views of relationships and time management. So let's take a closer look at this important topic. All right. Social media addiction is a common problem with detrimental effects. There's 3 million people throughout the world that use social media. 210 of them are said to suffer from social media addiction. Now, this addiction can cause cognitive and mood problems. Addiction resource suggests that symptoms of social media can include sleep deprivation, obesity, anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, and carpal tunnel syndrome, amongst many, many other disorders. From personal experience, I can also confirm that social media will also lead you to loneliness and create distance between yourself and those around you. That brings me to my second point. Despite the negative effects, Americans generally do not take their addiction very seriously. Many Americans are so attached to their phones that they'll sleep with them at nighttime. The majority of Americans have a Facebook account. Okay, of those that have a Facebook account, 74% of them report checking their Facebook daily. 51% report checking it several times a day. Half of those people admit to checking their phone while they're driving. Amongst those that suffer from social media addiction, female teens are amongst the highest demographic checking their phones. 10% of them checking their phones more than 10 times per day. That brings me to my final point. The solution to the problem is to understand that God values healthy relationships and time management. Hebrews 10 verses 24 and 25 tells us, "And let us consider how we may spur one another on towards love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together as some are in habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. That's the NIV version. So as Christians, we're to put down social media and make it a priority to nurture the relationships that God's blessed us with. With this as our motivation, we can understand that we have to be good stewards of our time during the day so that we can show those around us that we care for them. Time management throughout the day is key, but also having a plan for the nighttime is equally important. Don't use your cell phone for an alarm clock. Buy an alarm clock. That way you can put your phone away from you as you're falling asleep. You're not going to be tempted to go ahead and check your social media or just scroll through nonsense. Another thing you can do is during the weekend, just sign out from social media so that you're not able to check it. You have to physically log in and take that extra step to do so. That brings me to my conclusion. We see that in America, Americans have a problem with social media addiction. So if we fail to spend time nurturing those God-given relationships and we fail to manage our time properly, the problem to the solution is managing the time and the relationships. So if they come before social media, then that is us showing that it's indeed our spiritual duty. Spend time with those that you love. Avoid spending too much time on social media in order for you to be as effective as you can be. Use your time deliberately and wisely. I encourage you to analyze your own time management habits. Make realistic goals for your day and give yourself enough time away from social media so you can better glorify God through building relationships with those around you.